Now, just to get an idea, how many of you have children between the age of 5 to 10? Between the age of 5 to 10. Right? Okay. Right. This is something that we all know. Children are God-given gifts. And one of the things that we need to remember, this gift is given into our hands only for a season. Most of us, we forget the fact until the time they move out of the house. சரிங்களா? ரீசெண்டாக வந்து I did a calculation. சும்மா மைண்டில் தோணுச்சு. My daughter is in 12th standard now. Maximum யோசிச்சேன், maybe another 3 years. Okay, 3 years also looks like a considerable time. Now you convert that into days. How many days? 1,000 days. After that, அவ வாழ்க்கை எங்க கையில கிடையாது. எங்க கையில கிடையாது. Whether it's a boy or a girl, that is the truth. Okay? They are given into our hands for a season, whether we like it or not. Now, we certainly have to think about raising our children, or parenting is something we need to think about it. நம்ம தமிழில் சொல்லுவோம், ஊராம் பிள்ளைய ஊட்டி வளர்த்தா தான் பிள்ளை தானாக வளரும். இது வந்து பிப்ளிக்கல் சென்ஸில் ஒத்து வராது. நான் சொல்ல விளங்குதா? ஊராம் பிள்ளைய வந்து ஊட்டி வளர்த்துட்டு இருந்தால் என் பிள்ளை ஆட்டோமேட்டிக்காக என்ன செஞ்சிடும்? வளர்ந்துரும் நம்ம எடுத்துக்க முடியாது. சரிங்களா? இப்போ நம்ம யோசிக்க இருக்கிறது, நமக்கு வந்து ஆண்டவர் கொடுத்திருக்கக்கூடிய பிள்ளைகளை அவங்க புரிந்து கொள்ளக்கூடிய விதத்தில், அதாவது அவளுடைய தேவைகளை நாம் புரிந்து கொண்டு அவர்களுக்கு எப்படி உதவி செய்ய முடியும்? How do we understand what is their need and how do we fulfill their needs? Okay, before that, no, let me talk about one incident. Now this is sort of common, and this is very common in Kerala. Now husband and wife, they work in Gulf country for about 30-35 years. All those years, you know what they think? We are working hard so that to make our children's life what? Better one. Right? This is how most parents think, whether they work in the Gulf or here in India. Yes, of course we all love our children. But what we forget is, what do our children need from us, our lives? One example, I know a couple who worked in the Gulf for about 30-40 years. Both of them were earning quite a lot of money. 3 children. At some point, they sent their children to India. They continued to work there, both husband and wife. And all the while telling their children, no, it's all for your sake, it's all for your sake. And you know what? I have visited that family. Okay? After they came back from the Gulf, within say about 10 years, he passed away. Okay? And the auntie is still there. I visited that house. In one almirah, I have seen a huge rack full of files. Each file, mutual fund, another file, certain number of banks, another file, this property, that property, this property. I have seen it literally, no exaggeration. One rack full of files talking about how much he has saved for his children. Okay? 2 boys, 1 girl. All 3 are married. None of them want their parents' wealth. யாருக்கும் அவங்க அப்பா அம்மா உண்டாக்கி வச்சிருக்க சொத்து அவங்களுக்கு வேண்டாம். ஒரு ஆள் ஆஸ்திரேலியா செட்டில்டு, இன்னொரு ஆள் யூஎஸில் செட்டில்டு, இன்னொரு ஆள் சொல்கிறாரு இந்தியாவில், ஐ நோ ஹவு டு ஏர்ன், லெட் மீ ஏர்ன். A kind of aversion towards their parents. This is quite common, I tell you. Because parents know they don't they don't really understand what their children need when they are children. You are thinking something else and you are preparing. Of course you love them. Okay, your hard work is something we need to really appreciate. But do we really know what they need at their young lives? Yeah? நான் சொல்கிறேன் விளங்குதா? It's very heartbreaking for parents, right? Heartbreaking. நானும் ஒய்ஃபும் கேரளாவில் ட்ராவல் பண்ணி ட்ரெயினில் வந்துட்டுருக்குறோம். ஒரு அம்மா இந்த நம்ம ட்ரெயினில் தெரியுமே ஸ்வாப் பண்ணுவாங்க பர்த்து. ஏஜ்டாக இருக்கிறதுனால அவங்க எனக்கு இந்த கீழே படுத்துக்கிறேன் அப்படின்னு சொல்லி கேட்டாங்க. ஸோ வி பிக்ட் அப் அ கான்வர்சேஷன். ஃப்ரஸ்ட்ரேஷன், ஐ டெல் யூ, ஃப்ரஸ்ட்ரேஷன். என்ன சொல்கிறாங்கம்மா, கஷ்டப்பட்டு ஒர்க் பண்ணோம், கேரளாவில் வீடை கட்டிட்டோம், இங்கேயும் வீடை கட்டிட்டோம், பெங்களூர்லேயும், நான் மட்டும் போயிட்டு வந்துட்டுருக்கிறேன், என்ன வாழ்க்கை இது, என்ன ஃப்ரஸ்ட்ரேஷன். யூ நோ வாட் இஸ் த ஃப்ரஸ்ட்ரேஷன்? We did so much for our children, they are not appreciating it. But the question has to be, is that what the children needed? Okay? Now, inside every child, okay, it also includes adult, inside every child is an emotional tank. Morning we spoke about what? Love tank. Inside every child is an emotional tank waiting to be filled with love. When a child really feels loved, he will develop normally. But when the love tank is empty, the child will misbehave. Much of the misbehavior of children is motivated by the cravings of an empty love tank. Tell you, my dear brothers and sisters, most of the juvenile prison, go and talk, most of them, 80-90% are from broken families. Antisocial elements. Background, you check, you'll find an abusive father or an abusive mother. சரியா? பிள்ளைகளை பொறுத்தளவுக்கு நான் என்ன சொன்னா, நம்ம வீட்டில் வளர்ற பிள்ளைகளை பொறுத்தளவுக்கு what they want is, I am loved in my family unconditionally. I am accepted in my family, no matter. I may not be as good as so and so in the class, but I'm still accepted in my family for who I am. That is what the children need. Now this is something when your child's emotional tank is empty, whining, crying, snatching, tantrums, hurting others, rebellious, antisocial nature, it's all part of it. We need to see, I tell you, occasionally children cry for what they want to have and all that. But if there is a consistently you're seeing something like this, okay, your child is behaving very abnormally, you need to seriously think whether there's something else for that. Okay, now most of us, I'm sure that we all agree, we love our children, but that's not enough. We love our children, but that is not enough. As I told you in the morning, our children, they want to know that we love them. Again, like 5 languages of love, these are the things that our children, they want us from us. You speak my love language. Okay, now 5 love languages again. You tell me your love with your words. You want to hold my hand and hug me. You want to spend time with me. You do thoughtful things for me. You like to give me tokens and presents. These are the ways by which I know that you what? Love me. We're going to discuss a little bit about each of that. Like what I said in the morning, I tell you, words, especially for a child, okay, especially for a child, the words that we say as parents to our children, whether they are 3-year-old or 4-year-old, 5-year-old, the words that we say to our children has a huge impact. Again, all kinds of researches have been done on this. Okay, you keep telling your child negative stuff. You keep telling your child you're good for nothing. You keep pressurizing your child to be like somebody. The child is living in an environment where the child feels he's not accepted. நான் சொன்னேன், சில விஷயங்கள் நம்ம யோசிச்சு பார்ப்போமே, so that no, like உதாரணத்துக்கு 2 சொன்னா புரியும் நான் உங்களுக்கு. மோஸ்ட் ஆஃபன் நம்ம பிள்ளைங்க இருக்காங்களே, ஸ்கூலில் படிக்கும்போது நம்ம ப்ரெஷரா பிள்ளைகளுடைய ப்ரெஷரா? மோஸ்ட் ஆஃபன் யோசிச்சு பாருங்க, நமக்கு ப்ரெஷரா நம்ம பிள்ளைகளுக்கு ப்ரெஷரா? யாருடைய ப்ரெஷர் சொல்லுங்க பார்க்கலாம். யூ டெல் மீ ஹூஸ் ப்ரெஷர் இஸ் தட்? ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ரேங்க் வாங்கணுங்கிறது உங்க ப்ரெஷரா உங்க பிள்ளையோட ப்ரெஷரா? டெல் மீ. பேரண்ட்ஸ், யூ அக்ரி தட்? யூ அக்ரி தட்? Okay, imagine that you are there in what do you call the child's school day. Okay, now your child didn't get any awards, merit certificate. Now how do you take your child back home? என்ன சொல்லி கூட்டிட்டு போறோம்? நீ இந்த இருக்கிற பாரு, உண்டோ இல்லையோ? Whose pressure is that? Right? See, the other thing they want to say is no, release something very releasing. I tell you, I'll tell you from my own experience. We were really scared about my daughter clearing math exam. மேத்னாவே அலர்ஜி மாதிரி ஆயிடுச்சு அவளுக்கு. டென்ஷன். நாங்கள் டியூஷன் விடுறோம், அங்கே விடுறோம், அதை பண்ணுறோம், இதை பண்ணுறோம், பயம். சரியா? ஏன்னா நம்ம மைண்டில் எங்கேயோ பதிஞ்சிருக்கு, மேத் இல்லைன்னா அவளுக்கு வாழ்க்கையே இல்லை, சயின்ஸ் இல்லைன்னா என்னல அவளுக்கு வாழ்க்கையே இல்லை. I tell you, 9th standard, till 9th standard she was in a school, okay, ICSE. Then on one day we decided what do we do about this? We talked with her, she also agreed, we pulled her out of the school. We sent her to something called as NAOS, National Institute of Open Schooling. She cleared the board exam with 80% of mark. No math, no science. She now loves what she is doing. நான் யோசிச்சேன், 6th ஸ்டாண்டர்ட்லேருந்து 9th ஸ்டாண்டர்ட் வரைக்கும் அவளை போட்டு குத்துனதெல்லாம் இப்போ என்ன ஆயிடுச்சு? என்னாச்சு? வேஸ்ட் தானே. நான் இன்னொன்று கேட்குறேன், எத்தனை பேர் படித்து போட்டு வீட்டில் சும்மா உட்காந்துருக்கீங்க? நான் எதுக்காக கேட்குறேன் தெரியுமா? ஃபியூச்சர் எப்படி இருக்குங்கிறது நம்ம யாருக்குமே என்னது, none of us know how our future is going to be, right? Not only that, because now we imagine a kind of future and we what? Pressurize our children. It's not at all needed. Okay, I'm just saying. Now adhe mari, like when it comes to affection, our children want to know that we really love them. Okay, there are various ways by which we can show our affection. Okay, words of praise, our children need it. Words of affirmation, our children need it. நான் இன்னொன்று சொல்ல உங்களுக்கு, இது வந்து நான் கண்ணால் பார்த்தேன். இந்த ஸ்கூலில் வந்து காம்படிஷன் இருக்கும்ல, பிள்ளை ஓடுவாங்கல்ல. ஹலோ, ஆர் யூ ஹியர் வித் மீ? ஓடுவாங்க பிள்ளைங்க ரன்னிங் காம்படிஷனில். பேரண்ட்ஸ் எல்லாம் நம்ம என்ன செய்வோம், சுற்றி நின்று பார்த்துட்டு இருப்போம். ஒரு பையன், சின்ன பையன், சரியா, 4ஆம் கிளாஸ் படிக்கிற சின்ன, 3ஆம் கிளாஸ் 4ஆம் கிளாஸ் படிக்கிற சின்ன பையன் ஓடிட்டு நல்லா போயிட்டு இருந்தவன் ஷூ கழண்டு விழுந்துருச்சு. ஷூ கழண்டு விழுந்தனால தொப்புன்னு விழுந்துட்டான். அவன் பாவம் அழுதுட்டு வர்றான். அந்த அம்மா, அப்பயே சொன்னலடா உங்ககிட்ட. என்னது இல்லை, நான் கேட்கறேன், அந்த டைமில் அவனுக்கு என்ன வேணும் சொல்லுங்க? யூ டெல் மீ. யூ டெல் மீ வாட் த சைல்ட் நீட்ஸ். பரவாயில்லடா. I tell you one big lesson I learned. You know what? Last year I guess, my son was bathing in the bathroom all alone. He likes sometimes and he takes splashes water, soap எல்லாம் போட்டு. நாங்கள் இங்கே பேசிகிட்டு இருக்கோம், டம்முன்னு ஒரு சவுண்டு கேட்டுச்சு. டம்முன்னு ஒரு சவுண்டு. நாங்களாம் பேசிகிட்டு இருந்தனால ரொம்ப கவனிக்கல. டம்முன்னு சவுண்டு பின்ன யோசித்தேன், ஒரு ஃபியூ செகண்ட்ஸ்க்கு அப்புறம் யோசித்தேன். அங்கே போய் திறந்து பார்த்தேன். திறந்து பார்க்கும்போது என்னென்னா, அவன் சொல்கிறான், நத்திங் ஹேப்பன் அப்படிங்கிறான். திரும்ப என்னென்னா வந்து ஒரு மாதிரி ஃபீலிங்கு. அந்த பேசிகிட்டு இருந்த ஆட்கள் போனதுக்கப்புறம் திரும்ப நான் திறந்து கேட்குறேன். ஹீ வாஸ் ஆக்சுவலி லுக்கிங் அட் த மிரர், ஓப்பனிங் லைக் திஸ். என்ன நடந்துருக்கு தெரியுமா? ஹி ஆக்சுவலி ஸ்லிப்ட் அண்ட் ஃபெல் டவுன், ஹிட் இஸ் ஜா ஆன் த க்ளோசெட். இவ்வளோ பொழந்துருக்கு. You know what? And you know what? He was not crying, but he was bearing that pain. வெளியே வந்ததுக்கப்புறம் பார்த்தா பிளட் அப்படி போயிட்டு ஊஸ் அவுட் ஆகிட்டு இருக்கு. திரும்ப வந்து என்னென்னா கொண்டே சூச்சர் 3 சூச்சர் பண்ணோம். சரிங்களா? திரும்ப வந்து நான் கேட்டேன், ஏன் why didn't you tell me? If I tell, you will beat me. Now whose problem is that? Whose problem is that? You tell me. Parents. Because when they do something wrong or when they do a mistake, we kept on beating them. And now the thing, even when the child, அவன் லைஃப்ல ஏதோ ஒரு பெரிய பிரச்சனை நடந்தா கூட he doesn't have the confidence to what? Tell us. Are you able to follow what I'm saying? In many houses this happened. Even later, 12th வந்து ஏதாவது நடக்கும், abuse வரைக்கும் நடந்திருக்கு. There are children know who bear abuse because if they open their mouth in family, parents what? They again victimize them. யோசிச்சு பாருங்க. Because our children need affirmation. We all learn hard lessons. And sometimes I also want to add, if you have more than one child, intentionally, I tell you, intentionally, you will have to treat both children or all the 3 children equally. This is intentional. ஏன்னா நம்ம நேச்சர் என்ன தெரியுமா? We always pamper what? The youngest one in the family. You know what? How much the oldest one suffers because of that? Hello? Right? I know a nephew in my family, all 5 children. You know what? All he has told me, sometimes so bitter. Even after marriage, he said, for all that these 4 fellows have done, I have bear the brunt in my home. Hello? நான் சொல்ற வரங்கதா? Intentional பண்ணோம். Because we keep telling our children, because I have done this same mistake. Because whatever happens in the family, you immediately shout, you keep quiet. அவன் சின்ன பையன். Who is he? அவன் சின்ன பையன். But it creates a bad kind of thing. I tell you another thing. Sometimes, so I have tried to tell my daughter who is 15-year-old, look, Rupa, even when you were younger, we have done the same thing to you. She says, no, I don't remember anything. Hello? What she says is, no, I don't remember anything. Once, you know what, I was stunned literally. You know what, my son is good in studies. He's really good in studies. And he's also good in sports and all. I mean, whatever, school competitions, this, what do you call, medal, stuff like that, they bring, and then you put it over what? On the showcase and all that. Okay? One day my daughter asked me, where is mine? Where is what? Mine. And I don't even remember where it is. Okay? Maybe she also got something. But she was not as good as he in studies, but she was good at many other things. You know what? Recently, now she's in 12th standard, imagine, okay? How much she's still having it, that's what I want to tell you. Now she's in 12th standard. One day when she got a certificate, where we have kept our son's medal, she moved it aside and she now keeps that over there. And I thought to myself, how much is going on in her mind? A few things we can laugh at and what? Set it aside. But in the minds of young children, it's a totally different story. Researchers have said, for every critical word you use against a child, you should be saying at least 5 positive things. The ratio is 5:1. Now let's discuss. How many critical comments do we pass each day? Critical na enadhu? Adha pannada, idha pannada, todada, adanga pesada, idha pesada. Unda illaya? தப்பு பண்ணும்போது நம்ம ஈஸியாக கண்டுபிடிச்சிடும் இல்லையா? ஒருத்தர் சொன்னார், I'll read it so that you understand. He said, the golden rule, okay? He said, the golden rule in parenting, catch your kids red-handed doing something right and praise them for it. Hello? Catch them red-handed naவே நமக்கு என்ன ஞாபகம் வருது? When do you catch them red-handed? When they do wrong. He said, catch them what? Red-handed when they do what? Something right and what? Praise them. You know, Nandima, I want to say something. You need to break a chain. You don't have to carry the same chain. You know what is the chain? எங்க அப்பா இப்படி தான் பண்ணாரு. என்ன chain? Hello? Some of us know in our parenting, intentionally or unintentionally, we carry which baggage? Our parents, நான் சொன்னேனே, நான் ஆயக்குடியில் வளர்ந்தவன், பழனி பக்கத்தில். வீட்டில் வந்து ஒரு சின்ன டாய் கூட எனக்கெல்லாம் எங்கள் அப்பா வாங்கி கொடுத்தது கிடையாது. I still remember, for getting a cycle, I cried for almost 6 or 7 months to go to college to get me a cycle. And my father bought me a small black and white TV after I went on a strike. You know, now the question is, should I also behave the same way with my children? Sometimes, you know, we use it like, hey, இப்படி தாப்பா நாங்கெல்லாம் வளர்ந்தோம். Are you following what I'm saying? Think about it. Now, words are important. Let me say that. To my son, I love you so. You are so special. I hope you know with every day that passes by, you are more the twinkle in my eye, so loving, so giving, so a heart of gold, always my baby. Even when I'm old, your love shines through for all to see. I feel so proud you're a part of me. Now, when do you, see the thing is, no, our children know they should feel that we are proud of them. So when do you really make them feel that we are proud of them? I'll tell you another, because we don't have much time, but still let me say this. In a competition, like in the US, they have some of the reality shows. Okay, a girl, little girl, she won the competition. So there was a huge media thing, coverage. So they were interviewing the mother, and one of the media guy said, you must be proud of your child now, right? You know what she said? I was proud of my child from the time she was born. I'm not proud because she accomplished what? Something. I'm proud of my child because what? She's God given. That changes the way we look. Okay? Now, we need to move on. One-to-one time. I've been a failure, and I'm sure most of us, we've been failure because we have never ever thought this is so important, because we have been providing our children with all comfort, all the things that they need, but what they need from us is what? Mainly our presence. Our presence. Now, for this, no, we need to have some intentional efforts. That's what I would say. We need to have some intentional efforts. We need to mark out time. Unless we mark out time, it's not going to happen. There was one particular time, okay, there's one particular time where, no, like evening, just for half an hour or something, when my son was very crazy about cricket, I used to know, not very interested, but then sometimes he used to force me, just go on to the street, sometimes he will bowl, just half an hour in the evening. You know, that was the time when I was diagnosed with this neuroendocrine tumor. You know, I was so down, and one day I was sitting in my sofa, and then he came and asked me, you're coming to play? I've taken the bat, okay? And I said, no, I was already down thinking about so many things, so I said, no, I'm not coming. Then I heard him talk to a neighbor's kid. His name is also Kevin. My dad is not coming today. He has got neuroendocrine tumor. Can you come and play with me? Really broke my heart. Literally, it broke my heart. Because for me, this half an hour was sort of an irritation, okay? But for him, that half an hour was what? What? The most important time. I tell you, I am learning, and if you ask my children, they would say, he's still not giving us enough time. But intentionally, unless you make an effort, this is not at all going to happen. Right? Think about it. Think about it. Now, sometimes, no, it's such an irritating thing, okay? Even giving time to our children, because, no, it's not what we like. In the sense, look, see, some of us know, how many of you like to discuss about theology here? Theology? Spurgeon, brother? Huh? Because I heard many of you say that you like what? Spiritual stuff, okay? Arguing about what? Calvinism, Arminianism, and probably about all kinds of things. No, some of us, we can spend hours together. But with our children, the problem is, what is the common point of interest? இல்லையா? அதான் பிரச்சனை. What is the common point of interest there? Because what he does is not exciting to us. Now, at least when he was watching cricket, that was interesting to me. He would make me sit and watch what? Cricket. Now he's shifted to football. Now I don't really like football. But with children, you all know that, you know what? They will say, Daddy, come and sit. And even when you sit, no, and then, okay, you watch, man, I will do something, they will not allow you. You watch what I am watching. You understand what I'm saying? Sometimes you don't wonder what is happening in the mind. But no, that is what, see, you are not engaging with me. Sometimes, no, we may be at home, but are we engaging with them? That's the biggest question. So that's where this one-to-one time is so important. And touch, hugs, kisses, massages, discern appropriate times and moments. Yes, this is also is needed. Maintaining appropriate boundaries. If you're a girl child, if she has attained teenage, maybe she wants to keep a kind of a distance. As a father, you need to what? Understand that. Okay. Now, maybe we also see, the thing is, no, we also have to teach our children as what? Good touch and bad touch. If you yourself, you don't touch your children, how will children know what is a good touch and bad touch? When I was working with EU, Evangelical Union's staff worker, we had a case. In the sense, a sister, she was doing a PhD in one of the colleges. One day after evening devotion, where we talked about love of Christ, she literally broke down and she was crying. And then now we were all so concerned. Later, now we called and we were all talking. One of the things that she told us was unbelievable. She said, no, my father, after I was born, his business went down. So he thought that I was a curse in the family. I have never had my father's touch. We were talking about the touch of Christ. You understand what I'm saying? So this is something that our children need to understand that. Then, of course, we already said, giving presents at special moments, making birthdays special. Don't bribe them with presents. That's also something we need to understand. Don't bribe them. What is bribing? You want them to do something, you bribe them. You don't have to bribe them. Okay? Don't allow the child to manipulate you. Meaning, what is it? If the child says, no, Dada, if I get a first rank, what will you get me? So then it all becomes a bargaining thing. Don't allow that. We are talking about, no, once in a while, special moments, maybe special situations. You know what happens? This is also a way of teaching them to what? Give. This is also a way by which we teach our children to give to other people. Okay? Now, the other thing is actions. Acts of service and sacrifice. Okay, our children needs to be told what it involves. Strike a happy medium. Okay, you don't have to fulfill all they ask for it. Let them learn to say thank you. Even if you are the one who is saying it, giving it, ask them to say what? Thank you. Right? And let them also learn to help others. I'll just tell you one more thing. Sometimes, our children can be very cranky. Accepted? Very cranky, very irresponsible. You have a 4 or 5 year child. What all they need for uniform? Tell me. For school going children, what all they need in the morning? Tell me. Just calculate. Shirt and knickers. Then what? Belt, socks, shoe, tie, right? School ID. Right? Once, you know what? You may be telling your children 100 times, you keep the ID where? So that tomorrow morning there shouldn't be what? Searching. Now, you know what? One day, my daughter, she left the ID at home, went to school. I know what happens in a school. Okay? After she had gone, my wife found it, she had left the ID. Now imagine, I was already getting ready to what? Go to another place. Now I have a choice. One is to let her go through whatever punishment they give, or to go that extra mile and giver, and then you can teach the lesson. You have two options. One is what? Get the punishment, let her learn. Another is, again, no, you are going to teach a lesson, but this time, no, you travel that extra mile, you give it to her. I tell you, this I did once, and she was so thankful. Because she knows, no, okay, my father didn't have to do this, but what? He did it. That's important. Now, quickly, very quickly, and points to consider. Okay, let's just move on. Now, we need to just briefly talk about disciplining. Do we have to discipline our children? Right? Do we have to discipline? We have a very favorite verse in the Bible. What is that? Huh? Don't spare the rod. Right? What does that mean? To buy a bamboo stick and keep it at home? Right? We need to get the meaning, what it is. Now, foundation of the discipline, now I would say discipline is exhausting. That means, sometimes it won't work. One technique may not work. Another technique may work. You need to keep experimenting. We think discipline is the opposite of love. It's not opposite of love. This is something, is also having its source in love. We are worried that our children will not like us if we discipline them. That's not true. We are frightened of our children's reactions. Yes, they may react badly, but then this is still something we need to do because considering their character, we do not want home to be like school. Okay, these are all some of the reasons why we shy away from discipline. Okay, having said that, just very simple fact. The key to effective discipline lies in the combination of showing love and being firm. It's a balance between warmth and what? Firmness. It's a balance. See, if you take one of these, if you're always loving, you're going to spoil your child. If you're always firm, again, you're going to what? Spoil your child. It's a balance between being warm and firm. Warmth is the measure of how much love and support they give their children. Firmness relates to the level of control they exercise over their children's lives. Okay, when I give you some example, people say, this I took it from a book, there are 4 styles of parenting. First kind, authoritarian, meaning firm but not what? So the father is seen by the child as a head constable. You understand? There is what? Firmness. Okay, meaning they will listen. Firm, but not warm. Permissive, full warmth. Whatever they ask, whatever they said no, you do it, but not firm at all. Uninvolved, neither warm. I am on my world, you are what? In your world. Authoritative. This is what the Bible says. Authoritative is warm and what? Firm. Okay, one example. Now imagine, look at the scenario. If it is an authoritarian father, the focus is on obedience, punishment, not discipline. Look at the child, how he stands. Attention. Right? You have permissive. Don't enforce rules. Kids will be kids. That's a dialogue. Right? You have uninvolved parents. Okay? He is doing something, you do something. Provides little guidance. Authoritative, creative, positive relationship. Enforce rules. Just the difference between discipline and punishment. Okay? In punishment, to inflict penalty for an offense. That's the focus. Disciplines to train for correction and maturity. Focus, past misdeeds, future correct acts. Attitude, it's our frustration. It is our frustration. Here, love and concern as a parent. What is the result? You are instilling fear and guilt in punishment. In discipline, it's security. Now, having said this, I want to conclude here. Now, it's not an easy job. No amount of parenting books you study will what? Help you, because each child is what? Very unique. That means this is going to be a constant struggle for all parents. Right? Sometimes, some parents, see, I don't, when I look at my own parents, all that I remember was my father was very firm, my mother also was very firm, and I do not blame them because they were part of their times. And but all that I remember about my parents was, of course, they have used their rod and all that. They were praying parents. They were people who would used to fast. I'll just tell you one incident. Okay, there was a time, I think it was ninth standard or something like that. I was just so curious about smoking. So curious about smoking. You know that cigar studs after people smoke and throw it on the ground? Okay, I used to pick that up and see how it works. Smoke. I used to take it into my bathroom, and it was an old house, mission house. So bathroom was outside the house. So like once after 2 or 3 times, I smoked and kept it on the tiled roof. Once my mother entered into the bathroom right after this act was done, she understood nobody else had what? Come into the house except I am. No stunt, no beating. My father came to know about this. And he did just one thing. That's so vivid. He said, I know what happened in this house. Okay? I'm going to fast for 7 days. He told me why he is fasting. He said, I am fasting for you. And he fasted for 7 days. Took just 1 glass of milk or something in the night. 7 days. I don't know what happened to me during those 7 days. Nobody forced me to quit or anything. Of course, it was for curious sake. I was not an addict or anything. But then, this is how I realized that in my parents' life, their weapon was more than the rod, it was prayer. Even for your children, I would encourage this. Dear God, let this be our prayer. Dear God, today I bring my child to you. Please show me how to parent this precious gift that you have given me. Help me to be the best mother that I can be, best father I can be. I pray that your Holy Spirit will teach me, your wisdom will guide me, your love will move me. Most of all, Lord, I give this child to you because it's not ours, right? I give this child to you. Please make him, her, a servant after not my own heart, after your own heart. No easy answers for parenting. No easy principles. No all the time working principles. No. We all have to struggle. We'll all have to learn, sometimes even with our mistakes. Right? Okay.